Well, it looks like Fuck Around and Find Out reached the flagstones of just about every motherfucking ICE and Border Patrol agent. All of their personal information has been leaked because, well, when you start indiscriminately shooting American citizens, ripping babies out of the hands of their parents, and just taking people away without due process, it is gonna come and bite you in the ass, apparently a lot sooner before trial. You better hope that there aren't any vigilantes out there, ICE. You better hope that, your names aren't circulated in certain areas, like, say, the neighborhoods you live, the cafes and restaurants you like to go to, who will start denying you service and asking you to leave, you fucking fascist cunts.
Not already convinced that ICE agents are losers, you really need to watch this video because you're going to be fucking shocked. Number one, ICE agents only make $48,000 per year. A lot of these people that you see out there brutally beating civilians, they are doing it for the love of the game. It's not for money, it's certainly not for glory, it's because they enjoy the power. Number two, it's a very competitive process to be an ICE agent, apparently. You have to know somebody, which means that you're probably even better connected and even more corrupt when you do eventually get hired. Number three, to be an ICE agent, you have to be fundamentally okay with separating young children from their parents, and okay with the fact that you are ripping them apart, families apart that might never see each other again. That is just part of the job description, and using force is literally just what they do. That's why when these people have blanket immunity, according to JD Vance, that is totally intended. Because who the fuck else is gonna wanna do this brutal work unless they have a massive ego and a power trip? Like, they have god complexes, all of them. Now that they've explicitly told there will be no consequences, that they have immunity, I can imagine that it's gonna get even more cruel somehow, which I thought it was already bad, but just be safe. If you're going to a protest, they could attack you unprovoked, so be so careful.
Names of 4,500 Heil hippos just got leaked. And Silence of the Labs, Christy Nome, says the leak puts agents' lives at risk. And she's right. This is wrong, guys. Putting ICE agents' lives at risk is ICE agents' job. What are these radical left Antifa terrorist libtards gonna do next? Force our federalized fudge boys to stand in front of weaponized vehicles? Force FUPA Force 1 agents to run on slippery surfaces with all the grace of Pumbaa on ice, causing them to accidentally discharge their weapon and almost send their partner to meet Bambi's mom? ICE agents are rightfully terrified of people knowing where they live. Because, look, someone might show up at their house in the middle of the night, kick down the door, and arrest them for possession of pee. That's how it works in America. If these crispy creep commandos don't like it, they can fucking self-deport to Venezuela. Trump is president there too. You Pillsbury Proud Boy dipshits are gonna love it.
So guys, I'm just receiving some reports that, those ICE people, their identities have been leaked, The secret weapon of the ICE has always been their secrecy, which is the mask that they put and they ambush you. So that mask has fallen off, and now over 4,500 names of domestic home security personnel and the ICE agents has been revealed. This is after the shooting of Rene Nicole Good, a worker of DHS. You see, a worker of DHS is the one who leaked this information. And I'm telling you, they thought they were gonna hide, but now they are exposed.
Personal details of thousands of Border Patrol and ICE goons allegedly leaked in a huge data breach. Whistleblower leaked personal data of 4,500 DHS and ICE agents to a doxing website. I happened to look over said names, and I can tell you without a doubt that there were some of them, one specifically that really stood out to me. Enrique Surely you remember Enrique right?
Well, my name's Enrique.
Are you here with the...
I'm here with some of my guys, yes.
One of your convictions, if I'm remembering this correctly, was seditious conspiracy.
That's correct.
Would you do January 6th over again? I know you weren't here in D.C. that day, but you were considered one of the masterminds of what happened. Would you do it again?
I would definitely do everything I did again.
Isn't that fucking interesting? Not unexpected at all, but definitely fucking interesting. Look, the website's been down all day long, and I know a lot of you guys are just chomping at the bit in order to fucking look at these names. I have a feeling if you know where to look, you'll find it. Make sure you share, like, and don't.
Here's a look at all the confirmed cases where ICE or Border Patrol employees were arrested and what they were arrested for under Kristi Noem and Tom Homan's watch. First, we have Samuel Saxton, an ICE agent from Cincinnati who was arrested and held without bond on felony assault, strangulation, and domestic violence charges. Next, we have an ICE employee named Alexander Stephen Back. He was among 16 men arrested in a sting operation in Bloomington, Minnesota, who was later federally charged. Number 3 is Scott Dessereth, an off-duty ICE agent in Florida who was arrested for DUI and child endangerment after deputies pulled him over with 2 young children in the car. Next, we have Gerardo Rodriguez. He was an off-duty ICE agent that was arrested in California after pointing his firearm at a 17-year-old U.S. citizen and detaining him at gunpoint. Another ICE agent was reportedly arrested in the Bloomington operation beyond the primary auditor. Now let's move on to the confirmed Border Patrol employee arrests and charges. First, we have Louis Araib, a U.S. Border Patrol agent who was charged with multiple federal crimes. He was arrested and charged in Chicago with 10 counts of civil rights deprivation and 1 count of brandishing a firearm during a crime of violence. Prosecutors allege he SA and robbed multiple women using his position of power. Next, we have Isaiah Hogston, a Border Patrol agent arrested for assault and related felonies. His charges include resisting arrest, felony battery on a peace officer, and related charges after an off-duty incident with Long Beach police. Finally, we have Derek James Dominguez, a Border Patrol agent charged with indecency with a child. Just think about it. These are the people who are breaking into random citizens' homes in the middle of the night.
And to that ICE agent that fell on that motherfucking ice outside running towards the people, you look like you was running home to tell your mama, oh, the way you got in that truck. To the man that was in that man's face, taking all of those pictures and backed up just in case he wanted to lash out against you, get on the internet and post those pictures now. Post them now. Post them now. I need to see it now. The way that he was jogging towards them people, and I said, alley-oop. And then I open the comments, and somebody says, now he knows what it feels like to be attacked by ICE. And it's so funny because, yeah, you didn't see them coming, and then they just randomly attacked you. That's exactly what that ICE did to him. Yeah. Oh, BT dubs. Russia is sending Africans to the front line for war. Like, I know we can laugh and joke about stuff. Russia is literally putting black people in the front lines, also forcing them to become suicide bombers too. So we got a lot of shit going on that we need to pay attention to. But that was a real funny thing to laugh at. Oh my gosh.
Yo, I am in disbelief. I am looking at this picture because now they are brave enough to take their mask off, and I am in disbelief because you can't tell me that majority of these people are not Hispanic. I am in disbelief right now. The fact that they are arresting their own people, bro. Like, are the bills really that high for you to arrest and deport your own people that are here to have a better life? I wouldn't be surprised if they arrested their own parents just to get that bonus. This right here is a prime example of being a traitor to your race.
Imagine finding out that your ex is an ICE agent because you recognize the masked man slamming a poor woman up against her car when it comes across your feed. No, not me, but a good friend of mine who's dedicated her life to crushing ICE, who's not just talking about it, who's not just protesting. She's out there advocating for immigrants' rights. She's out there being an observer for these kind of raids, finds out that her ex is actually one of the agents terrorizing the immigrants that she's advocating for. So I was like, girl, dish, what was it like? And she was like, well, poquito, like to the point that she was like, ¿Dónde está? Are we surprised? No. There could have been some tendencies she heard through the grapevine after the breakup that were more in line with like a grinder type situation. Yeah, that fits. And he always wanted to be a cop, and he always talked about being a cop, but he just never did. Shocking. See, a man who's maybe compensating for a little bit, maybe hiding some stuff, and never quite had the fortitude to make his
how it only took one picture to find the identity of the ICE agent, his entire family, and his Filipino wife. Reverse searching an image is one of many techniques in OSINT, which stands for Open Source Intelligence. Hi, I'm Sudo, and I study and share all things tech, cybersec, and AI. OSINT is not a hacker trick. It's a technique using public data if you know how to search for it. Here's why it should matter to you. Many ICE agents have been found, and if ICE agents can be found, so can you. Okay, so stay with me here. Here are some ways that people use OSINT legally, like your employers, your school, university, but that same information can then turn around and be used against you. Now I'm going to show you how to protect yourself. Now here are some of the top ways that you can protect yourself online. Make sure you screenshot. OSINT isn't magic, but it is stuff that we leave every single day online to leave little breadcrumbs of information. So if you want to learn how to protect yourself more online, follow, like, share.
Gen Z is now doxing their parents if they work for any of the government agencies or contractors that are conducting immigration raids, with Gen Z posting online, hey, this is my dad's name and they work for this agency, or this is my mom's name and they're doing this right now. They are actively doxing their parents because they're not okay with the work that their parents are doing. Think about that. Children, young adults, teenagers are actively telling on their parents so that people know, hey, these people aren't great people. I'm okay with this. Gen Z's different. Gen Z has the ability to potentially save the whole country. And God help us all when Gen A actually finds their voice, because it's coming.
And to the person that leaked the 4,500 identities of ICE agents, thank you for your service. Now, there's some people that's going to be like, oh my God, that's doxing. Jesus wept. I would never shed a tear about the identities of people that kill and kidnap our neighbors being identified. And the thing is, this is a popular opinion too. According to a new poll, over 57% of Americans disapprove of what ICE is doing. Anyway, so here's what happened. A Department of Homeland Security whistleblower released the identities of about 4,500 ICE and Border Patrol employees today, and what's being called potentially the largest agency data breach for the department. It's all part of the ICE list, which is an online database created to promote accountability for these masked federal agents. And no matter how much they try to claim that identifying ICE agents is domestic terrorism, it ain't. People should know if there's someone around them willing to kill and kidnap their neighbors for $50,000 a year, or just period. The ICE list is an open journalistic project created by Crust News, and it wants to collect and share information that can hold ICE accountable. And of course, DHS and the guy in the White House aren't too happy. According to the website, they have been forced to fight off multiple attempts to take them offline by the Trump regime, but they say they're going to continue to do it. So in addition to the ICE list, the site is also building a boycott list. They're building a growing list on an almost daily basis, and these are companies that have contracts with ICE and companies and stores that also serve agents, hotels that host them, and any company who did not refuse service to ICE or agents of the organization. So help them out. If your daddy, your mama, your neighbor, or friend is an ICE agent,
leaked documents have just confirmed that although the federal government is trying to escalate situations between the public and ICE, internally, high-level ICE officers are scared of what's going to happen. Ken Klippenstein just reported that he received leaked documents internally to ICE. The Department of Homeland Security is rolling out Operation Metro Surge, which is trying to get volunteers because internally ICE officers don't want to go out into the streets and face the public. Not only is the resistance in Minneapolis effectively terrifying these officers, the Gestapo, secret police of the Trump administration, but the way that the public view them at large means that they don't believe that there is a domestic terrorist threat going on. Instead, they see themselves as the bad guys. This is forcing ICE to rally volunteers instead of trained officers. They are looking to utilize people that are more ideologically consistent with the Trump administration, but don't have the experience in order to recognize a bad situation. We need to keep pushing back against fascism and recognize that our actions are not insignificant. And ICE is scared.
Guys, we have some major breaking news, and has been confirmed that a whistleblower has bypassed DHS digital perimeter and now has released the unredacted identities of 4,500 ICE and Border Patrol agents. This is what they're saying. They are saying that this isn't a hack from the outside, it is a rejection of a mission from within. The psychological impact of an insider leak is massive. It creates a paranoia within the ranks because every agent in the briefing room is now wondering if the person next to them is the source. Data is moving faster than the agency can scrub it. While mainstream media platforms are trying to purge the link, the data has been indexed by distributed denials of secrets, and it's still circulating. So now 4,500 Border Patrol and ICE agents are on high alert. Now, if you guys know any ICE or Border Patrol agents and you are a neighbor, a friend, whatever the case may be, it is time to help protect your fellow American citizen who's trying to protect our country.
A whistleblower just leaked the personal data of 4,500 ICE agents in the biggest data breach the Department of Homeland Security has ever seen. The leaked information includes names, emails, phone numbers, and some resume data, and was shared on a website called ICE List. Reports say the whistleblower who shared this data is a DHS employee who decided to come forward with the information after the onslaught of national outrage over Renee Good's murder. The founder of ICE List says the leaked data covers 1,800 on-the-ground ICE agents and 150 supervisors. This is a clear sign that not only are American citizens unhappy with what ICE is doing, members of the Department of Homeland Security itself are unhappy with what they're.
It's not going to be just DHS whistleblowers who leak the identity of you ICE agents. It's also going to be your neighbors who see you leaving your house in tactical gear. It's going to be your kid's teacher who heard them talk about it during show and tell, and even your family, even though they say they're happy you finally got a job. Since I'm sure DHS has goons watching, I am in no way suggesting that if you know the identity of an ICE agent that you report it to ICE List. That decision is yours and yours alone. But apparently there's been a spike in individual reports after the shooting of Renee Good, according to the founder, Dominic Skinner, who hosts the site in the Netherlands, so it can't be taken down by the U.S. government. Hotel staff sending post-its, bar staff sending DHS IDs, people reporting that their neighbors are ICE. But all of this is in addition to the 4,500 federal agent names that were leaked from within the United States government this week by a whistleblower. About 2,000 of those names are actual ICE agents. The other 2,500 are in supporting roles. The ICE List database now has information on about 6,500 federal immigration agents, and I'm sure a lot more people are going to start recognizing their exes as being those people throwing women up against cars.
If you haven't seen the video yet of Jonathan Aguilar Garcia, 17-year-old kid in Minneapolis, Latino and American citizen, he's grabbed by ICE agents violently, thrown into a van, and they assume he is not a U.S. citizen, even though he's telling them he's a U.S. citizen. They grab him, take him away. My dog is upset. Take him away. Then realize they made a mistake and dump him back on the street. People encounter him and see him crying, and they're like, why are you crying? He's like, he's 17 years old, and these ICE agents grabbed him, beat him up, kicked him back on the street. And why do they grab him? Because he's fucking brown, and his last name is Garcia, and he's Latino. That is it. This shit is happening all the time, and these ICE agents have zero accountability. This is called a secret police, okay? Zero accountability, no names, no IDs, no, they're wearing masks, so we don't know who they are, and they're just going around grabbing fucking brown people because they assume they're undocumented. And if they make a mistake, they just throw them back out violently, and there's no like, wait, what's your name? Who are you? Who are you with? It is so fucking infuriating. You should be mad. If you're a Republican and you're MAGA, you still should be upset with this, because this is not what you fucking voted for. Or maybe it is what you voted for, and if it did, you're a fucking Cretan. Fucking awful. God, it pisses me off so much.
It's happening. A DHS whistleblower has literally leaked thousands of ICE agents' identities to the public. Earlier today, the Department of Homeland Security experienced what they are calling the single largest data breach that they have ever had. Allegedly, this all happened internally, meaning a DHS employee leaked 4,500 names, full names and identities of both ICE agents and Border Patrol agents. All of these names were leaked to the ICE List. The website is icelist.is. And I personally have taken a trip to that website 1 or 2 times. Dominic Skinner is the founder of ICE List, and he told the Daily Mail that he has had neighbors turning in neighbors, hotel staff turning in ICE agents that were staying at their hotels, kids turning in their fucking fathers. Anyone who's ever talked shit about Gen Alpha, I need y'all to sit the fuck down and listen up, because these kids are not playing around. Not playing around reporting old Daddy-O to the fucking ICE list. The first batch of these names is set to be released on the ICE list website tonight. And I will be enjoying a nice crisp glass of non-alcoholic wine and some cheese and crackers and browsing. Because you guys, we are so set for the ICE Agent of the Day series. So set.
Just an unfriendly reminder to all the ICE agents who think that that mask is going to keep us from discovering their identity. Within a day, we all knew who Jonathan Ross was, and no one has seen him or his family since then. Neighbors last saw his Filipino immigrant wife pacing on their driveway a few hours after he committed murder. And then on Friday, a half-dozen mask-armed federal agents pulled out 5 plastic crates, a computer tower, and a stack of picture frames from Ross's house and then left, but not before forming a defensive formation around a personal vehicle from Ross's garage. Jonathan Ross and his family are seemingly in hiding because he's a criminal that the Trump administration isn't allowing to be properly investigated after the entire world watched him murder a woman and then call her an effing B after she smiled at him and told him she wasn't mad at him. So ask yourself, is being Trump's muscle really worth a lifetime of notoriety for you and your descendants? You know, I have a friend whose grandfather was in an organization that started with an S and ended with an S, and she won't breathe that information to anyone except for her closest friends. And while the Trump administration may be shielding you from prosecution, there's no such thing as absolute immunity, and there's no statute of limitations on these.
You see, this is a very huge setback for the ICE agent, right? People thought that these people are hiding themselves, they can't be held accountable. See, someone who has nothing to lose is someone who acts like the ICE agents are acting, you know? But again, I repeat, the mask has fallen off, you know. Now there's a policy. There's a policy that will come into place, you know. There's a policy that will be enacted in such a way that every ICE agent that violated the rights of the American citizen, by every I mean every ICE agent will be arrested that violated human rights, you know. And this DHS officer that leaked this information is one with whom I call a patriotic American citizen. You see, he is seeing wrong happening, and he does not just sit back and watch. No, he acts, you know. He acts. We could have never known these names if it were not for this specific individual, right? And that's why when Trump's government comes to an end in 2028, these people will be held accountable and they will be arrested for the crimes that they have committed against those American citizens and the human rights violation. There's coming a day at a time, because now we have the names, right? We have also neighbors. They don't live in a vacuum. They live with people. People see them wearing their uniforms. People record all that, you know. Their neighbors are the first ones that are going to snitch on them, you know. Their neighbors will snitch on them. And also their location, their phone address, if they have the location on, all that is going to be used against them. So it's always better that when you are in power, you exercise power correctly, because there comes a time when you will be held accountable and it will not sit well with you, right? That's my thought. I'd really want to hear what you think about this. I'd really want to hear your insights. Yes, your insights really matter. And maybe you have some other thoughts, you have some other ideas about what's happening, you know. Share them in the comment section. Let's continue this discussion further. See you in the next one, and stay positive.